With the Detective Pikachu and Sonic the Hedgehog films coming out, it got me thinking about video games and other media like television. One of the earliest video game TV shows I remember is...
With the Mario Brothers and plumbing's a game, we're not like the others who get all the fame.
No, not that one. That came out in 1989. I'm instead talking about...
It's Saturday, Supercade, gather round, we'll get your video friends together.
Airing on CBS from September 17, 1983 to December 1st, 1984. The show was an hour-long anthology and aired 11-minute segments containing the characters from the video games of Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong Jr., Frogger, Q*bert, Pitfall Harry in the first season. Kangaroo and Space Ace were introduced in the second season, replacing Donkey Kong Jr., Pitfall, and Frogger. The show was made by Ruby Spears Productions. Their company also made the Plastic Man Comedy Adventure Show, Dundar the Barbarian, Mega Man, Chuck Norris Karate Commandos, Cowboys of Moon Mesa, and Police Academy the series. Well, they were very diverse in the productions, to say the least. Instead of reviewing the entire season, I decided to instead take a look at the first episode of the series. One more thing, it's been years since I've seen the show or played the games that the shows are based on, so I probably will miss some Easter eggs if there are any in any of the segments. Well, right off the bat, the best thing seems to be the theme song. If there's anything that people will remember or be nostalgic about, it's that. It's upbeat, bouncy, and gets you into the right mindset to watch the show. Okay, first up is Frogger. It's right here where you will see something interesting about the series as a whole. Most, not all, but most of the shows don't follow the plot of their video game, which makes sense considering most games back then up until the 1990s didn't have any real plots. So what this show is going to do is give a new spin for these characters. For instance, with Frogger is an investigative reporter. Hey, the chief sounds like Scatman Crothers.
Gold robberies at 3 high society charity auctions.
Anyway, the chief is upset because the competing paper is getting all the good stories. The chief orders him to find out who's doing these recent robberies or else...
You're fired!
After the informant gives him the most recent scoop, a gypsy and a WWF reject is plotting something evil. During this segment and for the rest of them, you will see the animators occasionally do callbacks from the games. An example here would be dodging cars, and later in the Donkey Kong segment, dodging barrels and going up ladders in a specific way. One thing that confused me then and now is, how do these frogs exist in this world? You would think that this world would be nothing but anamorphic animals, but then you see humans. So this should be normal, right? No, because on at least 2 occasions, people are shocked that there are talking and walking animals just out and about. They should be more shocked that Frogger and Shelly didn't get at least a citation for walking around without wearing any pants. After some tomfoolery, they track down Baba Yaga, but she then gives them the slip. They track the duo to a warehouse where I guess the former wrestling superstar starts reenacting his past glories.
No, don't do this! Enough is enough!
Your meddling days are over. Agreed?
It looks like this guy failed Villain 101. You don't monologue, then leave the hero giving them a chance to escape. You failed, sir. They didn't come up with a plan so ridiculous it just might work. Shelly is disguised as the golden turtle. How can you tell turtles apart? Don't they all look the same?
That's racist.
After he's snatched, the duo arrive just in time before he's melted. Cue the chase scene. The intrepid trio eventually captures the bad guys, only to find out that it's one of the first people we saw earlier in the episode. Hey, this is a Scooby-Doo plot. The plot for this segment is Mario and Pauline are trying to capture the big ape to take him back to the circus. Wait a minute, that's Pauline? Why is she blind? She was brunette in the game. Ah, well, in the 1990s, Hulk Comics, Betty Banner was a blonde too for a while. Didn't the 1990s European cartoon also have a blonde Betty as well, for no reason? Anyway, it looks like the climax will be when the non-Italian racist stereotype sounding Mario, Pauline, and Kong run afoul a dastardly trio that's trying to steal an emerald. Before that, though, shenanigans.
Throw me a line, Pauline.
Here you go, Mario.
You gonna eat your cornbread?
Anywho, the trio of badness catch up to Kong. The girl convinces him to work for them. Do I want to know what she and Kong did in that warehouse?
Monkey business.
Ew. Meanwhile...
Call it a hunch, but I think we better duck in here.
Ah, it's good to know that Mario has read ahead in the script. Well, they catch up with Kong and begin replaying scenes from the video game. And once Kong grabs Pauline, I'm beginning to think that he has a type. Well, Mario tracks Kong down to a swamp and springs his trap. However, because of shenanigans, he captures the thieves instead and Kong gets away. How did they not see him escape? He's a 7-foot tall, 400-pound ape. I guess they haven't any object permanence. I do find it interesting that Pauline seems way too calm with always getting handled by Kong. Is this a fetish of hers?
Pitfall next.
The beginning of the episode is narrated by Pitfall Harry's niece. Why does the cougar tiger thing have an eye patch? Now that's an origin episode I really want to see. I gotta admit, when I saw the title of this episode, I was hoping Jabberjaw would make an appearance. But I wouldn't see him again till one of Mystery Incorporated's best episodes. Wait, an inflatable apartment that gives you drinks? Was this the inspiration of Akira Toriyama's capsules in Dragon Ball? Toriyama! Pitfall Harry receives his mission to find some coins before his nemesis, or one of them, the shark, finds them. Wait, that tiger panther thing vaguely sounds like Snagglepuss.
Shark! Why couldn't it be a minnow, a perch, a guppy?
So exit. Stage left.
Yeesh. Things must have really gone bad for Yogi and the gang for him to change his name, color, and pull on an eye patch. You know, so far the concept for this particular segment isn't bad. In the game, Pitfall Harry was an adventurer, so having a show where he goes on several adventures makes sense. The villains try to sabotage Harry's plane with a boa constrictor. However, he is able to save the day by giving the constrictor a very bad touch, and they arrive to the location okay. While diving for treasure, they fall into a trap. I don't think that's how water and air pressure work. The gang finally run to the shark gang.
My hunch was right. The shark. Prepare for trouble.
Make it double.
Harry introduces the sharks to a few of his old friends. I gotta admit, this scene comes off a bit lame, just thinking how Mr. T would handle the same situation in the 1980s. That sub shout out to sharks. Is this a thing in this universe? If he were called the cat, would he be able to shoot kittens at people? Anyway, they track down the shark gang, spring their trap, and it's over? Really? Sure, his sub is broken, but he has several muscle-bound men, while the heroes only have one competent guy, a little girl, and a coward cat that doesn't have any depth perception. If you can't beat that trio, then yeah, you should go to jail for life.
Hurry, Uncle Pip. Donkey Kong Jr. is coming up next.
What always got me about this segment was I don't think Junior ever caught up with Senior, or heck, went toe-to-toe with Mario, since I imagine, unlike with the Donkey Kong segment, he's the villain. This segment stars Junior and Bones the Human. After getting run off the road by some ruffians, said ruffians then kidnap a girl's father and their truck. The trio track them down only to find out that this is apparently a thing because the bad guys have been kidnapping truckers and their trucks. Would the police find it odd that a bunch of truckers went missing, or the trucking companies would find it odd? After a few minutes watching this segment, I gotta know something. Is Bones the submissive in this relationship? I ask because of the way Junior keeps handling him and the fact that Bones always takes the bucket seat even though it's his bike. The guy that's guarding the truck is the worst. How can he not hear the two of them talking or when Junior is screaming his catchphrase? Is he really into that sandwich? Was he smacking his lips too loud? Wait, he doesn't hear them talking or yelling, but can hear Junior prying the steel open, which didn't make any sound by the way. And then he gets knocked down when a couple of chestnuts gently fall on his head. I don't understand how science works in this show. Bones then immediately stumbles into trouble and gets caught. Would you like to see Junior's grand plan to get him out? No? Too bad, here he is.
He's bad boy Bones, and I'm Monkey Wrench Willie. We're the toughest truck nappers in Texas.
Okay, so they're pretending to join their gang. Just one thing could follow up. Okay, two. One, Bones. The other is the fact that they're talking loud enough for the villains to hear them. Okay, so the plan is to steal the key to this guy's truck. I think it really says a lot that Bones factored into no part of this plan at the bar. Well, we find out why later when Junior sets up a plan to nab the guys, but Bones screws it up. So now Bones almost kills the kidnapped drivers. Would it be safe to say that Junior should just go it alone at this point? Well, after Junior saves the drivers using a rope stronger than Spider-Man's spider web, apparently, he saves Bones again by killing the villains. This is a kids show, CBS. Yeah, I know they said that they went to jail, but we never see that. Sure, they're in jail. Afterward, the little girl thanks them for saving her dad, to which Bones says this.
It was nothing.
Well, he's half right. It was nothing. You contributed nothing to the success to this plan, pal. Cubert wasn't in this episode. The show rotates segments, but from what I can tell, the concept for that segment is a bit weird. The makers of the show decided to have Cubert and his world set into the 1950s. That's like having the Mario Brothers in a horror film. Oh, wait.
And now back to Saturday's Supercade.
As a whole, this episode was okay. Quality-wise, it was on par with most shows during the 1980s. As I noted earlier, 3 segments from the first season were canceled and replaced with Space Ace and Kangaroo in season 2. It looks like the producers, they knew which shows were stronger and which ones were weaker, and knew when to cut the fat. Even though the show is mostly forgotten, I still imagine it had a huge impact with getting later shows like The Legend of Zelda, Sonic the Hedgehog, Captain N the Game Master, and so on the air. While most of the video game shows in the past were terrible, there were some good ones that came out of it, like Sat AM, Street Fighter 2V, and most recently Sonic Boom and Castlevania. So while it started off shaky, we're now in a better place with video game cartoons. Now if we hear that one is going to be made, we expect it to be good, unlike with the past. I did also think, would a concept like Saturday Supercade work today? Maybe, but it would still be considered as experimental now as it was then. Dedicate an entire hour with 4 11-minute segments? I don't know what network would do that. Also, would all 4 segments be comedic, or would you toss in some drama ones as well? Also, various video games are aimed at different ages. Do you aim each segment at a different demo? Or do you aim them all at the same age group? It might be best if these shows appeared on an animation block and went on for like 90 minutes to 2 hours. Now personally, here are some video games I'd like to see adapted into an anthology series like Saturday Supercade. Well, that's it for right now. Are there any games you'd like to see become a TV series? Also, would you be game for them to be part of an anthology or an animation block? Comment below and let me know. Let's start a discussion. Until next time, have a good day.
Step into my office. We have business to discuss.
Monkey business.